Welcome to the Burgh Cave, where you need two things. You need one of these, and I know a little something about this. Grab your brew, come on in and talk to the fellas. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Burgh Cave here on a Monday night here, August 17th. We got a dub, man. Hey, all I can say is after that Green Bay game, encouraging. We have a lot to talk about here, and I'm starting this off very, very pissed because I had this all 22 queued up, was working great the entire day, and now right before we go on the air, I'm getting the little spinny circle thing. Thank you, Verizon, you jagoffs. So hopefully I get that going so we can show you guys some film that I have that I want to show everybody because there's some really, really good things that I saw on tape as well as some things that are concerning. And again, we're not going to overreact one way or the other, but there's some good things and some bad things we want to talk about. I got my man, Mr. Wonderful, hanging out with us here, so I'll bring him on the stage here in a little bit. GB has got some college duties. He's dropping his daughter off at college, so he definitely will be back next week. But we appreciate you hanging out with us. So tonight we got what can we really take out of this preseason game? You know, let's take a step back and what's the message out of a preseason game? Number one, the Steelers actually now have a new QB problem. So we're going to talk about that. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 is becoming a little bit more of a question mark, isn't it? And in a good way, of course. Some concerns on the offensive line, and we've had a 4 out of 5 new starters. If you take Fuatano and McCormick and they're switching over to the other side, that's a new starter in a new position. So we're going to talk about that. The running back room or some developments coming out with that, and then obviously we'll flip over to the defense. There's some great things I saw with the secondary with Benton and the guy that's nobody saw coming. And when we talked about him after the draft, man, Gabe Rubio did not even have a picture on the NFL draft buzz with all the rookies. So this man is playing very, very good ball early on. So again, encouraging ball. The theme of tonight is encouraging. But before we get started, we want to talk about our sponsor here, Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill at 8110 Steubenville Pike in Imperial, PA, 724-695 4333. Wednesday night, they got 45-cent wings. Great place. My Man Cave away from my Man Cave. It's a great local bar. Fantastic place to hang out. So if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area near Robinson, give Celebrations a call. Again, 724-695 4333. Laura and Alex are there waiting to help you. Tell them you're a friend of the Burgh Cave. They'll take care of you. And it's a really, really, really great place. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my man, Mr. Wonderful, man. Let's see here. Where did you go here? We'll go to here. There you are, man. How you doing, man?
Here I am. Hey, I'm doing good. Always good after a Steelers win, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really, really great, man. It's like we got a couple comments in here already, too. Let's see. We got, Somber, welcome back in, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us. We got Vegas in here, man. Love it. Love it. Mr. Tummy. Still loyal. I almost want to overreact to that O-line and all 22. Still loyal. I'm hoping to God I get this thing working. This is really just upsetting. I was literally looking at this literally a half an hour ago before we got on, and now I'm getting blank screen. So while Juan and I are talking, I'm going to have it on my other screen. I'm going to keep playing with it to see if I can get this working because I got some really, really great stuff to show you guys. Let's see. Vegas Drew Allar Hall of Fame 2050. Hey, encouraging, man. Encouraging. Unplayable character Rubio. Listen, I got to get this working, man. There's so many good things to show everybody. But before we do that, the first thing I want to talk about is what you can truly take away from the first preseason game with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and really in any NFL team, right? We don't want to necessarily get too excited. We also don't want to be too critical because it is what it is. But what do you take out of a first preseason game, and then what were your initial impressions of the Steelers in 2026?
So really, first game, you just want to make sure that the guys are doing their assignment. Where they're supposed to be. Now, if you lose physically here and there, You can live with that, but you just want to make sure guys are where they're supposed to be, and go from there. And and that you don't do a lot of mental mistakes like penalties.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're clean there, and just clean up a lot of little game like procedural things. You want to make sure that you're going, how to get it in and out of the huddle, how to transition, from what the punt team is, and all these like little things that go on in the game that you don't really think about. Is like you want to make sure all that's
Make sure it's all cleaned up.
Yep.
So I got a question for you. And Mr. Tummy's bringing this up too. And I have my thought on this. I'll go first, and I want you to follow up on this. But penalties is an issue. Prefer they work hard, work that out during the preseason. I think that's exactly what it is, Mr. Tummy, is the fact that they weren't hitting in camp and then practice.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just like an over-aggression. Like, I got to hit somebody. You know what I mean? And again, it's not excused. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you can't do that. But the first preseason game, all right, get it out of your system. Get out of your system, right? Don't come back here week 2 and week 3 in the preseason and still with these dumb penalties. Because if you think about it, that was the Green Bay's best offense was the Steelers penalties from the preseason. It seemed like every time the Steelers had them, they would get caught with a 15-yard penalty. And I still don't understand the roughing the snapper penalty. I saw that on the All-22, and I wish I could show it to you. But what did you make about all those 15-yard personal foul penalties?
It just felt like there was I don't want to say a discipline thing. It's like, it's preseason. Who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like that because they were just so. Some of them were so just egregious, and they were like I felt like Cole Holcomb. I mean, when the quarterback's like dude, it's like, come on, you can't.
Yeah, you can't call some crap like that.
It's like, it's preseason. Why not? So
yeah.
I would say with the personal fouls, now some of the other penalties, I do think that it is a byproduct of not hitting or not being as physical like during camp as the other camps have been. People react differently when you're going hard, going live. There's a little bit different reaction, and so you might end up holding because you're not used to working that out in practice,
Yeah.
Everything
So I 100% agree. And man, listen, this is throwing this whole episode in a rut here that I'm not doing this all 20. And I was just showing you one before we came on. But anyway, I have this loading. I'm trying to refresh on the side. So hopefully in here in a little bit, I'll be able to get this running for everybody. But so is being live, right? So the quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Drew Allar. Now here's a combined 27 to 33 for about 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, should have been 3. Tunyon came about a half a foot short of a touchdown there. What did you think of the quarterback play? And then let's break down each individual guy from there. But it's holistically, what did you think about the quarterback play?
I felt like we started like at a B. Then we went up to an A, and then we went up to like an A plus. It was just seemed to get better and better with each.
Yeah,
but we started at a good place though. It wasn't like we were, it was like really bad play from one, and it was just getting better. But like we started from above average, and just got better from there.
Yeah, man. Listen, Rudolph is what he is, right? He was, I think 9 of 11 or so for, like 90 yards or some things like that. But when you watched him, he struggled a little bit with the offensive line. Cook didn't have a good day. And that's kind of expected. Futano really didn't have a good day. Again, kind of expected from going to the other side. But he wasn't able to really elude any of the pressure where Will Howard, they moved Will Howard around a little bit, some bootlegs. Sometimes he escaped a little bit early. And this is, again, something from his first drive. But what Will Howard did actually to me says a lot about the confidence that McCarthy has. I get it, it's preseason. But to go 4th and 1 and bootleg him to the left with a right-handed quarterback, you know what I mean? That shows a lot of what Will Howard had. I thought he was very efficient in what he did over there. Did he play great? No, but he played good. And I thought he was on the money with a lot of throws. That 2-minute drill was phenomenal. Again, phenomenal speaking being his first start or his first game action, excuse me. But what I wish I could show everybody is people were talking about, oh, he only had one good drive and all this stuff. I mean, some of these plays, and I saw in my own eyes, I was there. The time where he threw it away or he's running around, there was nobody open. It's just one of these ones where it was covered. So it wasn't like it was Mason. I think he only missed one ball when he overshot the guy in the middle. But, I think he played relatively well. So what was your assessment of Will Howard?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Like, I thought he played solid. Like, there was nothing that and say that, he's that's something I should.
I love that. That's such a good one, still loyal. I love that. That's great.
Right now, but yeah, like that last throw, like over the middle, high over the middle.
Yeah,
that worries you a little bit, but I mean, again, the man hasn't played, a game of meaningful football in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So, you can forgive that, but some of the other throws that he made were on the money, or he was able to find the open guy, and sometimes even make a decision to go be a little bit more aggressive. Might have somebody short open, but he passed that up and went a little deeper. So he showed a lot of good signs, especially from and all intents and purposes, he's a rookie. You might as well say. So, from a young guy like that, he's showing some good traits already.
Yeah, he definitely is. You know what I mean? Definitely is. I'm trying one more thing here, and man, this is really, really upsetting me because I had my whole sights on showing everybody some all 22 film. But I'm gonna keep at it all night here until we get off the air. But whenever I watched Will Howard, I was very impressed with his play. Then I'm sitting there when I watch Drew Allar come in, and you see his throws. The first word that just popped in my head was different. Right? How quick the ball got there. The one out that he threw to Hurlman on his second drive, that ball got there so quick. And it got on his outside shoulder. And let me tell you this, Drew Allar's footwork is a lot better than what it was at Penn State. And I did not know this. I was just actually talking to a Penn State buddy outside the house before I came down here to get on. I did not know that Drew Allar, of course I'm going to say this, it'll happen on Friday. In Penn State, he never was strip sacked. Like he takes care of the ball very well. And he had a very good, TD to interception ratio in college too. So if McCarthy keeps improving this man's mechanics, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in 2027. But his arm talent was very different. How quickly the ball got out to where it was, and I think he threw a slant to Hurlman, and it was off his back foot, and there was a blitzer coming, and he kind of like sidearmed it to him. You know what I mean? Kind of just throw it around. It was kind of almost like a Brett Favre arm throw. You know what I mean? What was your assessment of Drew Allar? I mean, I know I watched a lot of him in college because I said I had some friends over, and I watched a lot of Penn State games, watching some Big Ten whenever they weren't obviously whenever Pitt wasn't on. But he didn't look this good even in one preseason game at Penn State.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Like, I don't know who this guy was that I saw on Thursday, but that's not this Drew Allar that I've been seeing for
exactly, John. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he looked very comfortable, and you wouldn't expect that from from a rookie. And yeah, his mechanics. You're right. It looked a lot different. It kind of, and I'm hoping that it can grow to be at this level. But it's almost like Josh Allen. Like when he came out, because he was, what school did he come from? It was like a Western something or
who's that?
Josh Allen,
Wyoming.
I knew it was a W. So yeah, like when he came out, that's what they were talking about, his accuracy. But but then he really worked on his mechanics and everything, and now look where he's at now. So we're hoping that, hey, maybe that's all Drew Allar needed was maybe just the right coaching to be in the right environment to clean some things up, and because the talent is there.
Yeah.
So we just hope that maybe with the mechanics and whatever's going on between the ears, that McCarthy is able to help him with his make better decisions than he did in college.
And you could tell, and if I'm gonna tell you this, if I don't ever get this working, everybody, with this all 22, because this is something that I got so we can do this throughout the season. If this doesn't work, I'm actually going to produce a video and talk about exactly what I'm seeing with Drew Allar's footwork. Again, very, very encouraging, but there's still some little hiccups. And again, I'm not the QB whisperer that McCarthy is by any stretch, but it's just what I know from what I played, when I've heard my teammates being coached in college and such, and then what I'm hearing experts that I listen to play. He's very, very close, but you can still see there's some just little extra hitches in his steps or in his drops. But the arm talent, it just takes over. Man, whenever he puts this all together, he could be special. So, yeah, there's a lot with this. So I'm hoping if I get this to work while you and I are talking, we'll go back and revisit some of these films. But until then, let's move on to the wide receivers. Wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 got more interesting. Now, last week I was on here with GB, and I talked about Roman Wilson. And Roman Wilson, again, is having a lot of good camps tape. He was having a lot of good camp moments with Aaron Rodgers, seemingly his go-to guy when Rodgers was running the 2-minute drill. He wasn't very active on Thursday night, did have a catch for, I think, 8 or 9 yards, really worked the scramble drill well with Mason, came back to the ball, and it was really, really great. But we knew what Bernard can do. Did that surprise you with Bernard, or is that something that you expected to see, considering the Steelers seemingly have dodged a bullet with – no, they weren't able to draft Tyson. I hope he gets healthy. He's out for like a couple months now with a hammy. That's been his bugaboo, unfortunately. And then Mekhi Lemon, I mean, he had a weird interview, but I wasn't going to hold that against him, but it seems like he's not doing too well. Again, it's still way early. So it seems like the Steelers have kind of escaped out with the best receiver, at least in that area. What did you like from Bernard, on Thursday night?
So, well, yeah, to your question, was that surprised or was that what I thought I would see? My answer is yes.
Okay.
In that, because like there's been a lot of reports from camp that, he might be like blowing assignments or didn't know what he was doing. It seemed like that he wasn't fully picking up everything that's, that he was supposed to be picking up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get in the game and then he just goes out and balls like what you would expect. Like what I saw in the game is what I would expect the practices to be like in those speedy practice reports. So it was, right. So I came in like, okay, we'll see what he does. I'm not expecting a whole lot because they're saying all these things. But then, he showed up and showed out. Showed his ability to, just to get yards after the catch, but not just I'm wide open and I got to take somebody. I mean, to be able to actually break through tackles and get extra yards. That's
Yeah, good. Adam Vitzer brought up a good point, man. It's about being physical with DK Pittman and Bernard. It's going to get physical. Roman Wilson, the bugaboo is let's see him do it on Sunday, and he's yet to do it. So let's see if he does do it, even though he's had back-to-back good camps and preseasons. But I don't hear anybody complaining about drafting Wetchen anymore. Somebody made the joke that he had more receiving yards on Thursday night than he did all of Iowa because of the offense. Iowa's just bad. Not just bad. But I mean, I saw the skill set and thought he could do what he did. I mean, I think the turf monster almost got him, or else he might have scored on that play that long play. But I want to talk about. Well, actually, before we get into other Wetchen, the really good things that Wetchen did. One, are you encouraged with what Wetchen now can seemingly do in this offense as a receiver? Because I think he and his impact might directly be an impact if the Steelers can afford to keep 4 quarterbacks. Because I think they're keeping 6 receivers. Now, I don't know about the other positions, but 6 receivers and 4 quarterbacks. I mean, there's 2 positions that you may not play a lot. And darn it, I mean, Skoranek might be wide receiver 6. He's just going to be here for special teams, and he's A.A. Ron's ice cream buddy. That's like his BFF. But literally, I mean, what did you think and what did you make of Wetchin's performance on offense before we get to his special teams? And I have a comment about that.
So, yeah, on offense, I mean,
Wetchin or Wetchin? Okay, my bad. I'm getting corrected over here. That's cool. I appreciate that. Wetchin. Okay. Stop it. My bad, man. Kill me for that. But go ahead, one.
But, yeah, I thought he showed that he can play receiver. Like, he showed that he can be more versatile than just a punt returner or a kick returner. And I think that probably the Steelers probably won't use him in a full receiver mode, but like as a gadget guy or something like that, I can see them him having a role like that in the offense this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you what, I don't know if it's my internet or nothing, but I'm gonna give up here to mix. I just want to be able to talk to everybody now. But one of the most impressive plays that I saw, and I think this is the reason why they drafted him. Do you remember it was about 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, and the Packers were punting, and because where I was sitting, they were punting to Weech, and he caught the ball at about the 14 or 15 yard line, and then he was only able to catch it and then go upfield for about 2 yards because he was running towards the sideline to catch it. And he went up but the fact that he ran that way and caught it and got 2 yards, that ball was going to hit and go out inside the 5 yard line. That type of IQ, punt return IQ, is also a reason why they drafted Weechin. By the way, who has a silent T in their name, by the way? If it's Weechin, I'm just going to call him 10. We play ball. We call the guys by the numbers. That play by itself is, I think, is important because if Weechin can just give you another 4 or 5 extra yards per possession on a punt return, that's worth a lot, in my opinion. Juan, what say you? And what about he didn't really get off on kickoffs or nothing, but I liked having him back there. But you saw that punt return ability when that one cut after he caught that ball from Allar and he got out. But what did you think about his special teams prowess here?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't assess much. I did, from that game because I was really paying more attention to the kickoffs. Because that's been such a horrific endeavor for us for the last 20 years or so.
No more 245-pound fullbacks returning kicks.
Right. So, but even with that, like I did see some things there. Like you can see the sparks. Like you can see his ability to make the first guy miss. Like you can see like some of those like key things, and you just kind of feel that it's going to come. Like he's going to break one. He's and even even on the play as the receiver, you're right. Like the skills that he showed, even on that, like you feel like that. Yeah, when he gets the ball in his hands in open space, is going to be a problem for the other team.
Yep.
And you just want to have a guy like that on your squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see some of the comments here. They did not like the blocking on the special teams, and I agree. That was one of the things that was kind of a concern. And hopefully that gets cleaned up again. That's why it's preseason game one. You're talking about at the beginning. It's a barometer to start the assessments, in game situations. So I hope it gets better. But the fact that we have a seemingly good returner. And not these fullbacks and stuff that we were using in the previous regime. It's that's, as we know, that's one of Tomlin's bugaboos with these punt returns and kick returns. Like he's doing it like he lost a bet or he's part of that practical jokers or something, So one of the concerns that I have from last night, and we'll revisit some more of the receiver talk here as we want, but I want to hit a couple different points here. The offensive line struggled pretty badly, unfortunately. But I'm not going to hit the panic button yet because of who the coach is. And I think when you have the 4 new starters, again, because you had to take Fuatano and McCormick to the left side. Spencer Anderson is probably nothing more than an average starting guard, but I think he's a very valuable member of the team because of his position flexibility. And Dylan Cook now going over to the right side, only holding a spot until Max is ready. Fuatano and Cook both struggled mightily in this game. Played a little bit better, I think, Will Howard, but I think the threat of Will Howard running kind of maybe slowed that rush down a little bit. But what was your overall assessment of the offensive line? And Frazier was a bright spot, but Cook and Troy, what say you, man?
Yeah, it wasn't their best showing, definitely. Yeah, they were just getting beat physically. You know, I mean, it wasn't that Green Bay was running a lot of different like stunts and doing a lot of like it was just
there might have been one
right into you.
Yeah, there was like basic blitzing going on. There wasn't much shenanigans, if you will, going there. So yeah,
it wasn't that. So that again, it's the physicality of camp. You may just put a little of that into it. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, oh wait, we're getting used to what it's really like, and when we have some people who actually can hit our quarterback.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that rush is a little bit different than that you can't. So maybe it was just trying to get that feel back again. And I don't know why I'm blanking on this man's name. Who the offensive line coach last year?
Pat Meyer.
Pat Meyer. Thank you.
At least you're able to forget
it. So, for what I understand, like his the techniques that he teaches is a lot different than what most other coaches do. So it could be some of that some of the things that they have to unlearn.
Yeah,
from him to get back to kind of natural football. So I think it just might be a lot of all that happening, and guys in new positions, getting pulling everything out. Yeah. Now, if it happens next week, it'll be a little bit more of a concern.
So, Summer brings up a good point here. One, I'm going to bring this up because it's going to bridge into another guy I want to talk about. I think Troy will be fine. I do as well. Cook is a swing tackle in his opinion, and I think that's good, 100% good. But actually, I thought was the best lineman. Now, granted, I get when he played was Broderick. I thought Broderick Jones played pretty well. No, he wasn't playing against the top lines of the Green Bay, and that's fine because he's coming back from an injury. If you had a choice of someone like Cook or Broderick Jones to have as your swing tackle, because I think really Broderick Jones, the best thing he could do this year is be a swing tackle, or he plays so well that there could be some trade offers for Broderick, and then Cook could be the swing tackle, especially once Max is ready to go. But what do you think about that as far as the swing tackles? Again, that's a good point. Cook could be a swing tackle, but so could Broderick, at least for 1 year.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking about for Broderick is being that swing tackle. I mean, you can use him. I don't know how much McCarthy will want to do this, but if you want to, put him as a tight end, you know what I mean? He has that athleticism that, he can be that extra tight end, in those sets too.
Right.
I would like him, over Cook in that situation, to be honest. So, I really like actually the idea of Broderick, being, possibly being that. But realistically, I think that they will probably try to trade him.
Broderick?
Yeah, Broderick before, just having it. It's like, okay, we can keep Cook and then maybe get something else for Broderick. They would probably get a little bit more Broderick.
I think so. I mean, someone's going to want that potential, especially if his medicals are cleared. They can redshirt him in a sense of on their team and figure that part out. So, yeah, I agree. Like I said, they both didn't look good, and then there was a couple of jailbreaks and such with Mason in there. But again, because of the coach that we have, I'm cool and and knowing that true starting line is not there yet because we have to wait till Max gets healthy and he get in. And I think it'll be pretty solid. I think it'll only get better. And thank goodness that when we play Atlanta in the first week, their two top pass rushers are suspended, so they'll get like a little bit further of a warm up, if you will, against Atlanta at home in Week 1. One other concern, and it's really a concern for one man, maybe not a concern for Steeler fans, is Caleb Johnson was pretty much invisible. It seems that he's either this is one of two things, that he's legit in the doghouse and in serious jeopardy of making the 2026 team, or this is one of those Jedi mind trick motivational things by McCarthy and putting this dude is dead last on the depth chart at running back. And McCarthy said he is very big on having your offensive guys have two jobs. And he would be the one running back because Heinrich is listed as a running back. And obviously he's a good special teams player, right? Travis Homer, good special teams player. You know what I mean? And Caleb Johnson is not. So what do you make of KJ's demotion, if you will, and putting him literally last on the depth chart?
I mean, it's crazy that he got in the game shortly before I did.
He got one more carry than me.
Right. Like to be a third round pick and the year prior, and then to be that, like I was shocked. Like I'm sitting there looking at the game, like, all right, I was like, is he hurt? Something happened, and then when he finally came in, I was wow. I was like, that is a message. That it's almost some the rest of the field, hey, come, we'll take whatever you want for him. Come get him. Somebody here, he's healthy. We'll let you know he's healthy, but we don't want him. Come get him. Somebody.
And it's hard. I mean, on one end, because we heard about this with Howard versus Allar in the sense that McCarthy didn't draft him. In the other sense, and as they see Somber and others were talking about, there's a clean slate with him and Roman Wilson as well too, and Will Howard obviously being a quarterback, he's going to get a little bit more slack, if you will, because McCarthy's a cute quarterback guy. It is kind of puzzling because he must have done something or nothing, should I say, in practice and things like that for that to happen, because I was actually kind of taken back when I saw I wasn't surprised that that Warren and Dowdle didn't play. I was surprised to see Homer as the guy going out there with the first team. I was very surprised. I mean, I think he might be a good special teams man, but I think he's the one running back that's kind of like, I don't know what he's doing here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that surprised me as well, because I'm a big Lou Nichols fan. I'm just
that's the next guy I want to talk about, but go ahead, but keep going.
Yeah, so when he was in over, like there was a couple runs I was like, Lou Nichols would have broke that. Lou Nichols would have, and then Nichols comes in and you saw what he did. I mean, he really should have had a touchdown if it wasn't. Yeah, because even though the hold, to me, I don't know if it would have.
Dude, Mark brought a good one. He's behind Frenchie Fuqua. I love it, man. Good one, Mark. But yeah, listen, the last one running back is I want to talk about one is 35 is just, this is his second year in the preseason that he's balling.
That dude just makes plays, man.
Right now he's playing like RB3. And the only reason I think Heidenreich, if he makes the team, I think Heidenreich is basically a practice squad all day. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the only reason he would make the team would be in a running back position because of his special teams prowess, right? Because there's just too many receivers that could make the team, and even Brandon Smith is even playing pretty well. But what did you think about? Talk more about. Why am I dropping brain fart of his name? Lou Nichols. Yeah. Talk more about Lou Nichols and what you like about his game.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, like it just seems like he just always makes plays. Like he's, whether it's bouncing in outside, if it's either running through it, like he's more physical than you would think too. A lot of times he's, the pow's moving forward or he's going forward. His running style, like I think just fits in. Like when he makes a decision, he goes and he just hits that hole, man. And
And you know what? I remember now why this man corrected me on Weechin, because he is an Iowa fan, and I appreciate actually this. I'm glad you were here hanging out with us, man. I would like you, if you want to take a minute to type your response, and I'll bring it back up on the screen since you are, an Iowa fan. What do you think is wrong with KJ? If you're watching him in Iowa, why isn't he not getting it with the Pittsburgh Steelers? So, think about it, type up a little response or what you think, and I want to bring your comment up here so everybody can see it. At least everybody watching on live or watching on the replay. Because I'm baffled, and there's a lot of people in the chat saying they're kind of at a loss for words for lack of better words about KJ, because it seemed like he was a steal when we got him before how he ran. It seemed to fit the scheme regardless of the OC, because I think it would fit McCarthy as well as it would have fit Arthur Smith last year. And it's just puzzling. I mean, I get some guys just don't get it in the NFL, but to me, KJ wasn't one of those. It's because he's got great size, he's got really good speed. It's just puzzling why he's not getting it. So I'll be curious to hear your thoughts there, bud. So we'll see. We'll revisit that whenever we get the reply. But anybody else on offense that kind of caught your eye, one, before we move over to the defensive side, and we got a lot of players I want to talk about there. But anybody else that we did not talk about on the offense that you want to bring up?
Oh, we got to talk about Tunyon.
Tunyon.
Yeah, Tunyon was out there balling, man. He's finding an open spot, when against zone coverage, when he showed good hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was showing a lot to be tight end 3. I think that's we have a solid top 3. I think we have this year the tight end group that we thought that we had last year.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I mean, again, and because the way they're going to utilize the tight ends, you don't need to use them all at the same time to have a good group. And Tunyon, I mean, what he did for me in that game, and I don't need to see much more from him because he is a veteran. But if Mount Washington or Farmouth were to go down, I still think we would have a really good productive tight end room, even when we're running 12 personnel and such. So, all right, we got a response here about KJ, and I want to bring this up. So DWN Jets, KG was great on wide zone runs. He was amazing on bouncing outside and making a great run. Great hands on catching all pitch balls and cutting around the end. Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought he would be, like the one cut and go. It's almost like, I'm not comparing him to, but it's kind of like that remember those old Terrell Davis things where it's like one cut and you run, and then he had that speed. Terrell Davis wasn't a speed burner, but he had good speed, and that's what I thought KJ was. Good, good speed, not great, but he can get to 15, 20 yards before he's even touched at times because he had that, good speed and such. So I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm rooting for him as well. I hope he turns it around, but he may, if his NFL career, if it's going to continue, is probably going to be outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and we feels like there's something else. There's something else behind the scenes that we don't know about, like
right.
Or it's like missing practice or something, or missing, late for it feels like there's something else that they're just not, we couldn't be privy to.
And you know what, you're right about the offensive line struggles here, maybe compared to Iowa, and maybe that's what he needs. And again, the offensive line's been a kind of in flux, so had his spots last year playing well in the regular season. But hey, listen, the man's wearing black and gold. I'm going to root my ass off for him. I hope he makes it, but it doesn't. He's got a big hole to climb. I mean, at least to get to running back 3 with Lou Nichols and others. So right now, Lou Nichols has a stranglehold in RB3, in my opinion. But we'll see. There's two more games to go, and we'll see what happens in practice, and we'll go from there. But Travis Homer, I do think is going to be the odd man out because you got likes of Skronik and others, but we'll see. Defense. Man, I wish I had this goddamn all-22. I loved what I saw schematically, and I think I saw a comment earlier back in the beginning. I'll see if I can scroll in and find out one while you're sharing your thoughts. One thing I noticed on my high level thoughts, and I want your opinions on, is I didn't really see any splash plays with Green Bay. Green Bay's biggest splash play was our personal foul penalties. I mean, they were going 3 yards, 4 yards, 9 yards. I think in the first drive, Reed got on 19. It was a slaughter. They got him for like I think 18 or 19 yards, which is a good play. But I did not see any issues. And we'll get to Benton a little bit later. But I love to see he's doing 3 and 5 techniques. And you saw glimpses of him and Harmon on the field at the same time, and you just kind of got Cam and Tuitt part 2.
Yep.
And I whenever they drafted Benton, I thought about that. It would have been Cam and Benton being the new Cam and Tuitt, but now they got Harmon. We'll see. So I like what I'm seeing from Benton, and he played really well at that 3 and 5 technique. Juan, what were your initial high-level thoughts of the defense and what you saw differently from a schematic perspective?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, clearly by the score, the defense played well. But just overall, like I did like the play of the line. Some people in particular, I know you want to pull up the video of Mr. Bruce.
Dude, I am so. I've tried a couple other times while you're talking, dude. This is really, really frustrating. I've seen maybe have to do something on this, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the line to me like stood out, and Asante Samuel Jr. Man, like,
I mean, I knew he was good.
Yeah, it's you got to find a way to get this guy on the field. You know what I mean? Like he's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? They got to figure out ways to get him playing time. He's just playing too well. You know what I mean? And to just be if somebody gets hurt to come in.
Well, I thought like in the first drive he had that breakup from the slot, and they tried a little
was a slot
like a slot fade route, yeah. And I think it was Jaden Reed, and because they ran the outside guy ran the hitch, and then the slot ran the fade. Samuel was on him, and there's a couple other plays that he had that he was just in position with every throw. I don't even think they tried Jamel Dean at all, and it's this secondary is going to be good, and this is without Joey Porter and Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
And Deshaun Elliott. I mean, they had backup safeties playing the whole time. I mean, it was great. Although I am very, very encouraged what I saw from Spears Jennings, the 7th round pick out of Oklahoma. But Asante Samuel Jr., go back to your point. He's only on a 1-year deal, so I don't think his play is going to have any effect on Joey Porter's contract or what the Steelers are doing. And I'm really hoping they sign him soon because if they want him, I mean, the price keeps going up and up with Witherspoon's contract. And there's a couple others that are in line to get paid as well. I know the Patriots wanted to make Gonzalez the top paid corner. So he's going to get more money than Witherspoon, so which means Porter's going to want more money. Does he deserve to be the top paid corner? No. But you know what? Honestly, does Dak deserve to make $60 million a year? It's just he's the next guy up. Right, and that's what Porter is right now. With him and Gonzalez, they're the next guy up. But Asante Samuel Jr.'s play is making it easier for us to swallow this issue with Joey Porter's contract. He still needs to be here. I mean, worst case, they can franchise him and play him and stuff. But I mean, if you're franchising him, you're still going to pay him about $31 million because it's the average of the top 5 salaries, and there's 33, 31, 31, 30, 30. It's $31.5 million. So just give it. I mean, that's and honestly, and the agents are going to look at that and they're going to say that for him, that's going to be the starting annual average because that's what the franchise tag is. So I mean, it depends on how they structure it. But Asante Samuel Jr., like I was telling Gabe, I think you said as well. This is the deepest secondary I can remember the Steelers having since we've watched. Yeah. We've been watching Steelers games for a long time. I'm not going to tell us how old we are, but we've just been watching for a long time. This is the deepest second I have, and there's just so much position flexibility with the corner position as well as with the safety position. And Spears Jennings, guys, here's what I like about it. He's got that closing speed.
Does he?
And there was a play where they ran a run blitz. I had the tape that it was a run blitz, and he tackled that guy for a 4-yard loss. And it was really good because Dalen Everett was on the corner at that time, and you saw him shoot from the corner all the way back to to replace him as safety to keep the cover 2 look going. So the fact that they're trusting that guy, and it's experimental, but I just like these wrinkles. And why are you doing that? Because you got a 4-3-5, I think, is Spears Jennings at safety, and Dalen Everett's of just under a 4-4. You got this speed and this size in the secondary, man. They're going to be able to do some really, really great things. What did you see from Spears Jennings? And you can even include Dalen Everett if you like. But what did you see from these young guys?
Yeah, like Spears Jennings, that play that you're talking about is the one that sticks out. That you can just see the athleticism and you can see the physicality, and it's like, okay, yeah, I like this guy. It feels like he would fit in like Legion of Boom. You know what I mean? Like he has like kind of that feel to him, like a Cam Chancellor, but more athletic, or so that was good very good to see. And Everett too, like you see the talent there. You know what I mean? Like you can see that in a couple years, like these guys they're gonna be stars. Like you can just kind of feel they have the potential. I won't say they're gonna be, but they have the potential.
Yeah, like I was saying, man, Dalen Everett to me is Ike Taylor with hands. And I only say that because obviously I knew who he was, not like from a scouting reports perspective, but obviously he played for Georgia. You watch a lot of games. He made a lot of plays at Georgia. He wore number 6 down there. He made some plays at Georgia, and I think he started like 40 SEC games. But he caught my attention at the combine when he was doing the ball drills. He kept high pointing everything like a wide receiver. He was one of the 2 or 3 best corners that showed their hands and their hand ability in the combine. So that's why I wanted to go back and watch him. Let me tell you something. Obviously, the Steelers like him as well, too, because, if you can catch it, you can do it. If Ike Taylor had hands, he'd probably be in the Hall of Fame.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So I'm hoping maybe Dalen Everett can kind of take that, and we'll see. They'll get a long way to go to get to Ike Taylor status. But I'm just saying it's a comparable size, speed, and it kind of the same body frame to me. That's why I say Ike Taylor. So let's talk about Benton for a minute. I counted – there was 3 back-to-back plays or 4 back-to-back plays in the first quarter. Obviously, I only think he played nine snaps in the first quarter. In 4 back-to-back plays, I didn't record the stats for all the plays. I was just kind of looking for something to present. But he went 3-5-5-3 techniques in 4 consecutive plays. And I think a lot of it had to do with the offensive formation, right? But he played well, especially when he gets in his 3 technique. He demonstrated a pretty neat swim move. And I thought the Benton, again, 9 plays, a very, very small sample size. Before we get into the unknown star that's coming up, man, what did you think of Benton?
Yeah, I mean, he's really showing something, and I think it's more natural position for him to be further out than either the 3 or the 5. Like I think the nose is that's just not him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And because when he gets on that shoulder, that guard, like he's
yeah,
he hits that swim pretty quick, man, and that's tough to defend. So yeah, he seems more comfortable, and it seems like more natural for him to be outside, a little further outside, and I'm liking the versatility now that gives during the season. It's going to give Cam more of a break, and because they're going to be in sub package more often than not. Yeah. So, so that's right up his alley. So and then again that'll help keep Cam fresh later in the year.
It was funny last week when I was on with GB and I were talking about what to watch for and everything. And we obviously knew Cam wasn't really going to play. But we were talking about what we were excited for, the defensive line. We talked about Benton. Talked about, Harmon taking that next step. Benton hopefully taking the next step, which he is. And this was obviously before his contract. We talked about Y.A. Black and how well he's hopefully playing. Like, wait, we went to like 3 guys and we didn't even hit Cam yet. And that's what I like for this year, right? And I really do think, Benton's averaging about 18, slightly under 18 million a year. Basically, he's replacing Cam's contract next year, right? And it's funny. I had a pony, typical pony, but not. I don't understand how you can pay a guy $72 million with 5.5 sacks. Blah blah blah. Listen, they don't do their research. They just talk. He has the 16th contract as far as size with the $72 million. He's as far as defensive lineman. He's 20th in the NFL in average salary for defensive linemen. And he had 5.5 sacks. You look at the guy for Green Bay, they just paid 3 years and $57 million. I think he averaged I think last year he had 2.5 sacks. Barrymore from New England, 4 years, $84 million. He had 4 sacks last year. And he's averaging about 4.5 sacks, I think, in his career. This is the going rate, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And so you think about it, if he's 16th in the NFL right now, what's he going to be in 2 years? It's going to be a hell of a contract. Hopefully for somebody that's going to perform, and maybe he's a long-time tenure teammate of Harmon, and those two guys can really solidify that defensive line. With Y.A. Black, who I think is going to be an outstanding nose tackle. And, man, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I'm not going to say anymore. Not going to say it anymore. But, guys, I am going to produce a video with these tapes. They'll come out later. I'll put it on the Twitters as well as on the YouTube so you guys can come back and watch it. But if you guys have this game taped at your house, you can even do this tonight if you guys don't already know. I'm sure there's some of the people that are hanging with us already know this because there's some pretty educated football guys in here. The second quarter with about 4:08 left was one of those plays that Gabe Rubio that I just went, didn't notice it in the game, but then I'm hearing about all the coaches saying how good he was. It's like, yeah, DW on tape of preseason? No. Well, that's fine. I do it. I tape them all. I'm a goof. But 10:36 in left in the third quarter and 7:46 in the third quarter. Those two timestamps. Those are 3 really impressive plays by Gabe Rubio. Even when he gets knocked down, he's taking dudes with him. You know what I mean? I said this last time, Gabe, and I want your thoughts on this one. On offense, you need a wide receiver 4. You know what I mean? You need an RB3. Back in the day, it was a third down running back, but those seem to be dime a dozen now. It's third down running backs are like starters now. But you get my drift. There's these offensive specialists. You kind of need those on the defense well, too. And what's wrong with a run-stuffing nose tackle? That's all he's really good at. Rubio, if he gets a sack this year, I mean, I want to see what the Vegas line would be. If he gets 1 sack, maybe you take that bet. I don't know. He's not going to be a guy getting multiple sacks a year, but you know what? He's going to be in there stuffing some runs. But what is your thoughts? And when you watched Gabe Rubio, again, those draft buzz that we use for our draft expert, didn't even have his picture on it, for crying out loud. But, what did you think about Rubio?
No, I think he had a very solid showing. Like his hand placement, his feet, and how stout he was against the run. It was top level. Like he was making some really good plays that you can say like it. Even talent level, you always want to try to take that into consideration. But
yeah, of course,
what he was doing though, it still feels like it's going to translate. Like it didn't seem like that was just because this guy across from him is going to be moving furniture in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No, he looked legit. Like and it looks like he might be a steal.
I hope so. I mean, the entire draft class, it's encouraging, and I think that's the only word we can keep using for this. It's encouraging. So the last segment here, I literally thought we were going to go for a while because of this here, but actually, DW1 Jet has another one as well. Think that Rubio played well. Agree. Was happy to see Sebastian Castro get quite a few reps out there, and hopefully that's a good sign for him. I agree. Safety, it's going to be hard for him to make the team with the safety depth, but yeah, I agree. It was great to see Castro get a lot of playing time because if he doesn't make it here, he's going to put on a lot of tape for other NFL teams. And I liked him last year as well, but hey, you keep grinding, you can still make this team. You never know, because if you can replace a veteran, it costs a little bit more money. We'll go. And actually, who else who played well was Jenkins, the guy they signed from Cleveland. I think it was
Oh, yeah,
31.
Rich.
He played pretty solid. But if Castro plays better than Jenkins, you're going to keep Castro because he's obviously a lot cheaper, and you have other guys that you're going to want to pay. I do think the wrap up before we talk about the Jets is I'm hoping the next move is a TJ restructure, then just sign Porter and let's be done. Right, let's be done and let's go get this thing, see what we could do in 2026, and then you got a lot of money falling off next year with Ron, Cam, possibly, and others. You'll be able to absorb those contracts. So next week or Friday now, not next week, Friday against the New York Jets. Yes, what do you want to see now in preseason game 2, based off everything we spoke about and what you've seen in the game against the Packers?
So, no penalties. Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cleaning that up. Do I need to see a run? No. So I would love for them to say, all right, Drew Allar, you get first half, Will Howard, you get second half, and that's the quarterback rotation, and just let's see what these guys have, because we already know what the top two have. Let's really see what these guys have. Want to see more out of the running game. Just want to see what our line can do. You know what I mean? But that all a lot of that falls on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And defensively, I'm not expecting much because the people I really want to see, I know aren't going to play. So
right.
You know what I mean? But what I want to see out of the young guys though, are a season progression. Let's stop the run a little bit better. Cover these receivers a little tighter. Make better plays on the ball. Just let's see some growth from this past week. We don't want to see regression anywhere.
Right.
So, all the guys we really want to see, we know aren't.
I agree. I tell you what I don't want to see, but it's going to happen, is I don't want to see Mason Rudolph. I just want to see first half. I literally would sit him too. And I would give the start to Howard, and then against Buffalo, I'm going to start Allar. Different times, especially with the ones. At least you're not going to get with DK. I honestly think if DK and Pittman don't play, there's no reason to play Ron.
Right.
But I would love to see, and a couple comments that were in here as well. We're talking about. I would love to see at least give Allar and Howard, Roman Wilson, and Jeremy Bernard. And Weechin, and Washington, and Freiermuth, right? So obviously with the first team offensive line, because the assessment of the quarterbacks are true. And hey, look who they played against. True, but look who they played with, right? It's not like you're going out there with DK and Pittman playing against the third and fourth stringers of Green Bay. They played Green Bay's third and fourth stringers with the Steelers' third and fourth and fifth stringers. So, again, look at who they played against is legit. I'm not saying it's not, but you also got to realize who he played with. Same argument whenever you talk about college coaches. We talked about this a lot with Pitt a couple years ago. Whenever Cade Bell was coming up from the lower ranks of college football into the ACC. Well, can he do this again in the ACC? Well, probably, because now he has ACC talent on offense that he can work with against bigger talent, right? So Drew Allar and Will Howard, can they work with the ones? Well, is definitely still a question mark, but I think there's a positive signs based on what they did with the third and fourth stringers against the third and fourth stringers. You could see what can they do with the first and second stringers against other first and second stringers. So I would love to see Howard and Allar each pick a start. Rotate their starting games these last two preseasons and go from there. That's what I would love to see. I'm not sure if it's going to work, or the opposite would be, and I think Mark said this too, and we're getting some agreements as well. He agreed with you too, Mr. Wonderful. Let's let these QBs play the whole damn game. The other part of that, Mark, would be give the third game to Will, and give the second game to Will, give the third game to Drew, and have at it. Mason could sit down. We know what Mason is, right?
Right.
He's 9-1, 64% completions, 30 TDs, 22 picks. He's a Jag. Listen, Mason's been a loyal dude. I like him. If these two guys weren't here and we had a younger quarterback, I would take Mason as a backup quarterback. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. But it really doesn't make sense. And now with Detroit and Washington losing their backup quarterbacks, they are teams that believe they are contenders. You might be able to get a little bit of trade value for Mason for those guys because it's a one-year deal, and they both have their quarterbacks already set. Maybe you do. I don't know if they would pull a trade off for like a Will Howard or nothing like that, but maybe it's Mason. I don't know. But we'll see. We will definitely see. Defensively, man, I want to just say more of the same, right? I want to keep seeing this young secondary keep playing because I think they're going to be needed. Spears Jennings to me is he another Chris Hope type of impact, a late round draft pick that actually has a decent career. That would be great. Anytime you get that type of production out of a 7th round pick, man, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not really much else. So it's really going to take a life of its own. Actually, I did hear. Actually, I just popped in my head. If you guys, if anybody read this too, kind of now just kind of going all over the place, maybe for the last 5 or 10 minutes here. Jalen Warren's having some fumble Ruski issues at camp. Supposedly there was a report that TJ punched it out a few times. That's always been Jalen's bugaboo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see that, but I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, hoping maybe does Jalen get in there? Maybe put Jalen and Dowdle in for a series or something. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think it would hurt for. I always feel like it's good for running backs to get some game action and just to get the feel of the game because again, practice is a lot different. It's a lot different when it's not thud. And guys are going for your legs and doing things, how to protect yourself better and just kind of get back in that rhythm of the game. I do think running backs need to work. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Oh man, we gotta keep it a little dating, brother. Yeah. Yeah, so Tazzle, first time I've seen you here in the cave, man. Appreciate you. What is that? My screen's a little smaller. Tazzle 864. Okay. Appreciate you hanging out, man. We didn't see JPJ, and honestly, at this point, I don't think we're gonna, even if he signs, I don't think we see him in the preseason at all.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to really. Maybe he just keeps increasing his reps at camp because even then too against Atlanta, he maybe because of how well Sante Samuel Jr. is playing. Maybe he kind of rotates in, and maybe by week 2 he's the full-time guy, depending on how he is health-wise. If it's truly his health. But I just hope JPJ gets his contract. He deserves it. You know what? If you don't think he's the long-term answer, then you give him one of those 3-year deals, and maybe you let him walk afterwards to see if he can live up to the money. But there's some structural things you could do with the contract. That we can. They could take a risk, but at the same time, give this man the money that he's going to want and deserve. Because again, if you're looking at the franchise tag next year, it's $31.5 million. So you have to start your annuals at that, unfortunately. But you can structure it to the point where you can work it. So, anything else on your mind about the Steelers there, one?
No, I'm just I'm very excited about the season coming up. Like after this first preseason game, I think even though it's preseason, but it's something about winning and a winning culture, and to have so many penalties and yet still win by so much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's encouraging that the team didn't get off derailed, even those young guys. You know what I mean. It speaks a lot to the character of the team. So that was good to see, and I don't know, it's just I think just seeing passes over the middle of the field get completed, It's like, hey, this might be.
I think there was more passes over the field on Thursday than there was like the last couple of years over here. And again, I for some reason, I don't know if it's a design. I get like that opening game where Justin Fields played against Atlanta when they had two rock star all safeties, avoid the middle of the field. But it was to the point where, like, is it really a strategy? I have a hard time believing an NFL coach says don't throw over the middle of the field. I just have a hard time doing it. I have a hard time saying that that's an actual strategy. But yeah, it's good to see those tight ends over the middle. That seam pass that Will Howard hit Tunyon, who was short. Everyone was, what the kids say, everyone was crashing out in the stadium whenever they were replaying it. As soon as they put it on the big screen, like, oh, yep, he is short. He was short. But yeah, and then just the fact that they're going to, if they're going to utilize the middle of the field, I think McCarthy does a lot of that. You got those trees for tight ends, and you got the trees for a wide receiver. You can hide someone like Roman Wilson and Weechin under there because they're going to run. I think Gabe said last week they're going to run through the trees, and you're going to lose them. I'm just excited. I'll close it out on this. I'm just excited of the versatility on both sides of the football. Right? Somebody mentioned about the physicality of the receiving core. They're 100% correct. The physicality of the running back room. Dowdle and Warren are physical. Lou Nichols can be physical. The quarterback's old, but he's not physical. But the defense, the amount of flexibility they have with the safeties, with the linebackers, with the D-line. There's a lot of different sub packages are the new norm. I'm just excited to see what that is. That's why I don't care what I see next week, because I think it is going to be completely different. I'm more and more impressed with Patrick Graham. I already knew what McCarthy could do. More impressed with Patrick Graham, with what he can do. And then Mark said too, the O-line is the key, and I just hope that they play a lot better, because that's the key to the whole thing. You're right. When you got a 42-year-old quarterback who can still sling it, can't move like he used to, but he can still sling it, we go as those five up front go this year, especially. It's true with any team, but I think especially in 2026, they do that, and it's going to be the key, man. It's going to be the key.
Yeah. Yo, I heard somebody, I can't remember what show it was on, but they said Landon Roberts. Just think about this. Landon Roberts was Patrick Graham's starting linebacker, and he's probably number 4 or 5 right now on this team. Like, just a difference in talent level that Patrick Graham's going from.
I can't believe I forgot to bring that man up. I was so giddy, as we all were in our chat, about bringing him back, the thumper that Patrick Graham likes. Dude, that is such a great signing.
Oh, yeah.
Malik Harrison?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Landon Roberts, because he just brings a different energy to the team. You know what I mean? He reminds me a lot of Vince Williams, like that same energy that Vince Williams brought. Yeah. You need that. You need that from that inside linebacker sometimes. You know that.
And if you recall, Landon Roberts played well for Vegas when he was with Patrick Graham. So did Robert Spillane. Both players that played for the Steelers that went on to his system and played better. And I'm not knocking. It's just a system thing. It's not knocking Terrell Austin, right? No, I think Patrick Graham's a better D coordinator, obviously. Not knocking any of the previous coaching. It's just certain players fit better in certain systems. That's why I think Peyton Wilson's going to flourish this year. Cole Holcomb can flourish as his backup if he gets the chance to play or if he has to play. Patrick Queen's going to flourish, although I think it'll be his last year here. Nick Herbig, I know, is lined up a few times at inside linebacker in some certain packages. It's the scheme that's going to work, and having Landon Roberts back is going to be great. Yeah, man. I'm usually can say, you know what, I want to see 1, 2, or 3 things next week in preseason too. outside of the improved offensive line play and then letting these two young quarterbacks play. I really don't know. It's like there's so much that could happen that we don't know because we're not in practice. But the versatility, I think, is what has me the most excited.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
All right. I want to leave with one parting shot to give a plug to my man JJ Kitchen and Harry, the Pitt Guru Paceros. We are going. If you are in the Pittsburgh area and you are a fan of the Pitt Panthers, we are going to have our Pitt meet and greet Saturday. It's Southern Tier from 1 to 3. We got the place closed except for the Pitt meet and greet. There's going to be a lot of big Pitt alum coming from football and basketball. We may even see some of the current players and their families coming over for a little bit because I believe Pitt has a scrimmage on Sunday. So JJ's worked his tail off to host this, and, he's trying to do a lot for the Pitt athletics. And, it's a great way to kick off the Pitt football season. So if you are a Pitt fan, regardless if it's casual or a diehard, and you want to come over for an afternoon of some Southern Tier IPAs, one I know Southern Tier is one of the best brewskis out there, man. To give me some Harvest, I'm all over it. It's a really great time. I'll be down there. It'd be great to meet anybody who comes and has a couple beers with us and kick off the season. But yeah, this Saturday, August 22nd, from 1 to 3, I'd get there a little bit earlier. From 1 to 3 at Southern Tier, and obviously we'll be hanging out a little bit afterwards. I think Mother Nature is going to quit being a jag-off on Saturday, and we'll actually get some good weather. But we'll see. It's going to be a good time. Wait, let me see something. Doesn't move TJ to middle linebacker. I like the caveat, relax. I'm just joking. TJ not middle linebacker, but Herbig maybe. We'll see. I mean, Herbig. I think he played some inside linebacker at Wisconsin. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Or did he? Or I think some people projected him as an inside linebacker in the league. A lot of them because his arms are short, and they didn't think he'd be a good edge rusher.
Well, kind of wrong on that part,
Yep.
Yeah. So
swing and a miss.
What, the national media has a swing and a miss? But I'll tell you this: some couple things that are coming up as well. This Wednesday, I'm going to have my man Jeff Shansky on, who is a Penn State alum, and my college teammate John Bosey, is coming on, who's an Ohio State guy. We're going to do a Big Ten preview, as the Burgh Cave is going to really stretch out into the college game a lot this year as well as some other NFL stories, in addition to the Steelers that talk that Mr. Wonderful's on, the GB is on, and others that will be on Monday nights. So we're going to continue that 100%. Probably looking at Wednesday nights as a second live, just to give everybody a little bit different of a football flavor. And then we'll bring my man Craig Burton from Beer We Go to talk some fantasy. Looking at Wednesdays more like as a football variety show, kind of like everything but Steelers, or Steelers and more type of deal, if you will, just to give us some more variety. And I just want to keep talking football with everybody, so it's great. I will tell you guys this. A good one coming up, and Mr. Wonderful, I mean, it would be great if you can make it. I don't know if GB can make it, but the 25th, we have everybody booked, is the AFC North preview. In one corner, there'll be a Bengals fan, a Browns fan, a Ravens fan, and us. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're going to talk about the AFC North. That's going to happen on a. Let me look at my calendar. I think it's a Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday the 25th. Schedule conflictions, and also I didn't want to take up the Monday night pod because Monday we still got to talk about our Steelers. But then we're going to give a whole AFC North preview with the podcasts. Well, the Ravens guys don't have a podcast. They just live across the street. They're good guys, but they'll hop on. They're not going to come here. They'll hop on. It'll be great. It'll be a great discussion. John Bosey is my college teammate, represents the Bengals. And we have Guys Night podcast from Cleveland who I've been on, and he's been on once before. He's a great dude out of Cleveland. And he's a really good Browns fan. Just a really good guy. Their podcasts are pretty damn good. That's why I have him on. It'll be a lot of fun, and it's going to be great. And then GB and I will be on – I'll have it streaming on the Twitters. GB and I are going to be on the 5 Count podcast tomorrow night, which is a podcast out of Kansas City, talking to some Chefs fans. And they invited us on, and it's going to be a good time. Again, good people. We've been on there before. They've been on here when we did Around the NFL. They want us back on and kind of give a little bit of preseason talk. So GB and I will be on there tomorrow night, and I'm going to stream that on the Burgh Cave Twitter account. So if you guys are around and not checking out any other Steelers pods, check us out on the Twitters tomorrow night.
Sweet.
So, Mr. Wonderful, I know you're not a large social media guy, man, but if people would like to follow you or ask you questions and talk with you, where can they find you, sir?
Just hit me up on Exit now at Ball Thunder.
Ah, man, Ball Thunder. So please, if you guys haven't already, appreciate you guys. By the way, great chat tonight. I love the participation. I love calling me out for mispronouncing Weechin's name. I love it, and thank you, because I'd probably look like an idiot the rest of the year. Which isn't hard to do, but is what it is. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. Come hang out with us every week. We love to have you on. This channel's growing, and it's growing because of people like you guys coming back and hanging out with us. We hope you enjoy the no nonsense football talk. We're not into the hot takes and nothing like that. Just some good, honest ball talk. And I promise you, I'm going to get this damn internet working, and the All 22 is going to be a staple of our Monday night pods moving forward. If I can figure out Verizon or whatever the hell they're doing here. So, because it's working all damn day except for right now. So we appreciate everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. See you next Monday. And if you can, check us out on tomorrow and Tuesday, as well as on Wednesday. We've got a busy week here in the Burgh Cave. So appreciate everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.